So that was embarrassing, huh? The Nuggets got blown out by the Timberwolves to go down 2-0 in the series, lose both their home games in Denver, and they looked completely outclassed. Looked completely outclassed. Anthony Edwards has had his way with the defense in this series. Karl Anthony Towns was the best player on the court last night. Jokic has been extremely underwhelming. Jamal Murray is extremely limited with his calf injury right now and cannot make a shot to save his life. And the Nuggets look just listless right now. They look like they don't know what they're doing. They look like they're completely outcoached, completely outmatched, and they have given me no reason to believe they can come back in this series. They did not show any fight in this game, and they lost by 26 to a Timberwolves team without Rudy Gobert. And this Timberwolves team is the best defense I've seen since ever, really. Keep in mind, I'm 20, so I did not see like the 2004 Pistons. I didn't see any of the, defenses pre-2000 of teams I have watched like live with my own two eyes. This is the best team or best defense I've seen. The rotations they make are super crisp. Everything they do on defense is just like a hive mind, and it is shockingly impressive. Like, complete credit to the Timberwolves for how good this team is, for how well the roster is constructed, to how well they're coached, to how disciplined they can be, to Anthony Edwards for really taking a step this year. He was already great last postseason, but he's making a case to be in some real like best player, like top 5 player conversations next year potentially, if the Wolves go as far as they can. Like, this team is showing that they can win the title right now. They're showing that sort of level of dominance over not only the Suns, but now also the defending champions in the Denver Nuggets. And listen, man, they're just outplaying the Nuggets. Like, I'm a Nuggets fan. I wish I could say that Jokic was showing fight. I wish I could say that I thought he cared right now, but I don't think he does. He's playing without aggression right now. He's playing without much passion, like he's been a traffic cone on defense. Last postseason run, he was really good on defense. Like, I know some people are going to, do revisionist history. No, he was good last postseason run on defense, but he was bad against AD, and he's been really bad against the Timberwolves. That is what it is. And the way the roster is constructed makes it difficult for anything outside of Jamal Murray and Jokic two-man game to work sometimes, because they don't really have a secondary ball handler in the starting lineup. They have Jamal Murray and they have Jokic. And Jokic isn't really a ball handler in the conventional sense of, a guard thing. He does pass like a point guard, but he's not a ball handler like a point guard most of the time. And, I mean, you don't really want him to be either in his optimized role, right? And the next best ball handler on the roster is Reggie Jackson. And Reggie, while he was good in November, like, he was good in November when he filled in for Jamal, but, like, he's also 34, I want to say, and just doesn't have enough left in the tank after playing that many minutes this season, after doing all the things that he's been asked to. He just doesn't have enough left in the tank to, like, be a secondary ball handler for a team, and he's not someone you should ask that of either. At this point in his career, he should be your 7th, 8th man, like, spark plug. And he's been okay in the playoffs. He's had some moments. He's had some bad moments, but he's been okay. Justin Holiday played well yesterday. They're wasting good bench performances. Like, the bench has been actually pretty solid in this series. It's just the starters have been getting killed. Like, they gunned for the 1 seed. They didn't end up getting the 1 seed because of the Spurs game. Well, because of multiple games, right? Like, if Jokic hadn't rested against OKC for some reason, maybe they win that game, and that's the difference between OKC being the 1 seed and them being the 1 seed right now. And then they don't have to play the Timberwolves for another round. And they also could have probably taken it a little easier. I mean, if Jamal Murray doesn't get injured, they probably do better. But also, Jamal Murray has dealt with injuries at this point for a while. So you can't really say, oh, if only Jamal wasn't hurt, because like that's like, if your star player or one of your star players gets hurt, that's just a factor you have to deal with, and it is what it is. And Jamal Murray gets hurt, and that is what it is. You have to construct the roster with that in mind, and Calvin Booth didn't do that. He had a quote before the season where he was talking about, it's not about winning this year, it's about winning 3 in the next 6 years, it's about winning 4 in the next 8. And while that's a great idea, I don't know if Jokic is going to be playing in 8 years, and even if he is, he's not probably going to be the player that he is now. You want to maximize year to year, in my opinion. And even if you want to do the Project Dynasty thing that he's talking about, you need to hit in the draft. And last draft, he did not hit on arguably a single pick. Julian Strawther, I'm not ready to call like a miss completely yet. He dealt with injuries this season, and when he was on the court, didn't look great. Didn't look great. Like for a, I want to say 21, 22-year-old rookie, you were hoping for probably better production on the floor. I think he was a junior coming out of Gonzaga, and didn't look great. He had a 48.5 true shooting percentage from what I remember this season, and he was supposed to be a three-point specialist. So that's not fantastic. Shot under 30% from 3. And, I mean, Jalen Pickett and Hunter Tyson were second-round picks that they gave guaranteed 4-year contracts to for some reason. That ate up 2 roster spots that could have been, you could have put them on 2 ways. And neither of them played meaningful minutes this season. Neither of them look particularly good. And you just, you wasted 2 roster spots there. 3, arguably, with Strawther. You gave Zeke Naji a 4-year extension when he didn't play this season much, and when he did, he looked really, really bad. Like among the worst rotational players in the league bad. There's just a lot of missteps here and a lot of roster construction issues that could have potentially been addressed, I'm not saying sign back Bruce Brown. That's not realistic. There was no way to re-sign Bruce Brown, but you had to do a better job of replacing him with minimum contract guys. Cameron Payne had good minutes for the 76ers. He was on a minimum, I'm pretty sure. There are guys who could have done a better job. And I'm not saying they beat the Timberwolves if they signed Cameron Payne, but I am saying maybe it makes the job in the regular season a little easier. Maybe they have a little left in the tank now than they do. Because I'm fine losing to the Timberwolves. I said the Timberwolves have a shot in this series. They had just as good of a chance as anyone to beat the Nuggets. And they're absolutely clowning the Nuggets right now. There's no contest at the moment. And it comes down to, just they want it more. And seemingly it comes down to that. I'm not in the locker room. I don't know these dudes as friends or anything. I can't say whether they actually don't want it, but it didn't look great last night. And I think if they had better guys, it's at least a more competitive series. The starting 5 I don't want to see blown up. I want to bring KCP back, assuming the series goes the way it's looking. I'm looking towards the off season. I want to bring KCP back, obviously. But you do need to make some moves on the margins. You probably need to choose between Christian Brown or Peyton Watson. They have a lot of overlapping skill sets, and while both of them are promising young players, neither of them can really score much right now, and you need to probably choose between the two, because you can't have 2 negative floor spacers off your bench, really, and because neither of them are also bigs. So you're playing a bench lineup right now with Aaron Gordon, who's a negative floor spacer, Peyton Watson, who's a negative floor spacer, and Christian Brown, who's a negative floor spacer. That's 3 non-floor spacers on the floor at a time. That's just not tenable in this sort of environment, in this sort of series, especially because the Nuggets don't have anyone that can dribble. They can't beat the full court pressure that the Timberwolves are placing on them. It's just the Timberwolves are inevitable right now. That is what it is. So props to the Timberwolves. And I hope the Nuggets show more fight in Game 3, but we'll be waiting here until Friday to see that. So that's not super fun for me. But, it is what it is. Playoffs have been really entertaining. But, yeah, that's all from me. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Bye.